Hello there, this is James and you're watching Tixee Live. And a very good morning to all of you, and all of you a very happy Friday. In today's program, I want to discuss the situation going on at Twitter currently today, plus the fact that the UK apparently was hours away of total financial meltdown, and of course, discuss a certain event happening later today. But before we get into all of that, don't forget these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research and do your own due diligence, and of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. With that out of the way, let's get started. First off, I've had a nice greeting already. Hey James, happy Friday and NFP Day. Happy NFP Day indeed to you too. Thank you. Nice to see you. Right. So anyway, yes. So as this thumbnail suggested, I want to have a quick chat a little bit about what's happening at Twitter currently at the moment, because yes, complaint. Yeah. I know it's funny situation going on over there at the moment. But like I say, yeah. So today, Twitter starts mass layoffs today. Mass layoffs. Twitter's employees were in fact being informed by email whether they have a job or not. In an email that sent out to employees yesterday, it said, in an effort to place Twitter on a healthy path, we will go through the difficult process of reducing our global workforce on Friday, today. They also went on to say in this email, we recognize that this will impact a number of individuals who have made valuable contributions to Twitter, but this action is unfortunately necessary to ensure the company's success going forward. So, hi, James. Hello there. Hope you're good. Hope you're having a great day. Good to see you. So a mass redundancy. Musk, who's obviously only been the CEO of the company, or the owner of the company, for just over nearly 2 weeks now, he's looking to cut around 3,700 staff globally. That's actually half the existing workforce of Twitter. Yeah, well, it is a little bit harsh. It is. I totally agree with you. It's not nice, is it? Not a nice way to start the weekend, certainly. But yeah, there's half the existing workforce, both it's global, around the world. But you can understand what he's trying to do. It's not nice at all. But Twitter is clearly in trouble. Last quarter, Twitter reported a revenue decline of 1% year on year to 1.18 billion, and a net loss of 270 million. This is last quarter, and cost of expenses of 1.52 billion. So you can understand there is a reason there, and it's not just Twitter. Twitter is obviously going to be taking. This is why I want to talk about it, because it is horrendous what's happening today. But I think this is a sign of things to come, because clearly Twitter has suffered greatly because in the current economic climate. And though Musk is being really dramatic, I think this is a sign to come for other firms as well. Don't forget, Amazon also announced that they are not hiring any more staff at the moment. They put all hiring on freeze. Facebook is getting calls to reduce their staff as well by their investors. And don't forget, Facebook had a very shocking quarter-3 earnings as well. So I think this is a sign to come for a number of social media companies. Snapchat, look at the Snapchat drama and how badly Snapchat did as well. So I think this is a sign to come. This is obviously going to take the headlines because this is really dramatic. It's 50%, 3,700 people will lose their jobs today. Okay, and that is not nice. And obviously Musk, he's always in there. And in fact that he owns it. This is also going to be a major driving thing why it's going to be taking the headlines as well because of him. Yeah. Hello. Hi, Moses. I hope you're well. Hope you're having a great day. So yeah, this is, it's going to take the headlines because of Musk and because of the size. But I think this is a sign of things to come with a number of social media companies in the coming future. So I think this is just really the beginning at the moment. Staff will discover their fate today at 4 p.m. UTC. That's 30 minutes after the US Open. Now, let's have a quick look at Twitter, actually, as it stands at the moment. Give me a second, I'll pull it up. I don't feel, like I said, whether or not this is going to be a big mover of the market to be open, I think the market is aware of this. So, it obviously closed slightly lower. Well, closed at $53.68 yesterday. Again, when this is confirmation at 4 p.m., and whether or not this is going to be a big market mover, the market is probably priced it in already. But it would certainly be worth watching to keep an eye on the US Open. Because like I say, the staff will find out 30 minutes after the US has opened. In other news, Bailey has been doing the rounds. Obviously, since yesterday, since the Bank of England announced their 75 basic point rate hike and the very scary press conference, Bailey's been doing the rounds and been doing a number of interviews. One of the things he said is just because they've done 75 basic points yesterday, that's not the new norm. So don't, expect that to happen like the Fed on a regular basis. But it's just something else. It was on Channel 4. He was asked the question whether or not the UK was on the brink of financial meltdown during the horrendous Truss micro budget announcement. Because, and this is what he had to say, we certainly reached a point where the markets were very unstable and they were core markets. This is government bond markets, which in many ways are the most core of it all. He also went on to say, I think at the point when we intervened, because don't forget, they intervened quite dramatically to stop the rot. I think the point at when we intervened, I can tell you that the messages we were getting from the markets were that we was just hours away from a meltdown. Now, that's really frightening. It goes to show in the current climate, how fragile things are, certainly for the UK. Okay, the fact that this one micro budget, it was a stupid idea, obviously. It was insane and we all knew it. But this one thing actually put the UK, a well-known financial institution, on a brink of meltdown. It goes to show how vulnerable the current climate is. So that is really, really frightening. So obviously Bailey's been talking today, though, at this very moment in time, it's Lagarde's turn. And she's actually speaking right now. And obviously she's going to be talking about monetary policy. Now, she was fairly dovish a little while back in the press conference after the ECB also did an interest rate hike of 75. But what's going to be interesting, she said previously, in the bank conference in New York a couple of weeks ago, how the central banks should start working together more closely and thinking about what they're doing and what their actions are going to mean to the other banks. In other words, she was doing a message to the Fed to think about us as well as the US, because your actions is making the dollar stronger, which is hurting us. So it'd be interesting to see what she says. Before we get into see where the markets are, let's talk about something else, which could potentially weaken the US dollar today. And that, of course, is NFP. It's NFP Friday. Happy NFP Friday, everyone. So this is the big event for today. Expectation, this is why I say it could potentially weaken the dollar. If it comes in, and we'll talk a bit more about the scenarios, obviously. But the October job growth is expected to have slowed down. The actual prediction, or the actual expectation, is for the number to come in 195,000 to 200,000. The previous reading was 263,000. Unemployment is expected at 3.6%. Previous reading was 3.5. Unemployment is still very, very low. It's still a good number. However, if the NFP does come in between 195 to 200 or even lower, this will be the lowest reading since December 2020. And the reason why this is massive is because the market's going to look at this, or potentially massive. The market's going to look at this and they're going to think this could dictate what the Fed does next. Okay, because don't forget, the Fed is trying to, it sounds insane, but they need to do this. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to slow the job market down to fight inflation. This is why they're raising interest rates. If the number comes in lower than anticipated or around that sort of expected, the market could slightly rejoice because they would then expect the Fed's going to be gentle, even though, because the market has a short-term memory, even though on Wednesday night, the Fed say there's no stopping us. We might do smaller, but we're going to keep going. And the actual overall interest rate is going to be higher than anticipated. So even the market will forget about that. The market will look at this and go, initially, if it's a lower reading, weaker dollar, the Fed's going to be gentle. If, however, we get a better than anticipated number, and don't forget, the number of NFPs we've covered, all the numbers are coming better than anticipated. Doesn't mean it's going to come in better today, obviously, but they have come in better than anticipated, over the last couple of announcements. So if it does come in better, then again, the market could really seriously get spooked because the Fed is failing to achieve their goals at the moment. And it might, spur them on to be more aggressive. But anyway, let's have a quick look at the market as it stands at the moment. Typically, we've had a slightly weaker dollar today, slightly weaker. It is sort of trading water as well, as you sort of anticipate, because it's what you get on NFP day or big announcement day. You get the market takes its time and gets patient and wait for this announcement. So this is the euro. It's fairly range bound, 0.97745. Dollar yen, pretty much also very much range bound at the moment. Very much range bound, still struggling to attack that trend line again. Currently trading at 147.83. The sterling is doing slightly better today. It's managed to recover slightly today after yesterday, after obviously the Bank of England's press conference, which said the UK is going to fall into the longest recession since records began in 1920. But it's had to recover today, slightly better. It's actually above the 112 handle. Currently trading at 112.18. And again, it's slightly range bound now, which I anticipate because of the NFP coming up. Gold is pretty much the same as well. Still trading under that key level, $1,667. Currently trading at $1,645. Range bound again. So obviously, it's all waiting for the big event happening a little while in a couple hours' time. S&P 500 will range bound as well, currently trading at 3,743 points. So this is it. That's the big thing for today is the NFP. Obviously, because it's a big thing or potentially a big thing, of course, I'm going to be doing a watch along for this. I'll be going live at 12:20 p.m., which is 10 minutes before the announcement. The usual, where we have a quick chat about it, go over the potential scenarios, and obviously watch it unfold live on air. So please come along and share that with me. So markets as they currently stand, slightly, not that one, sorry. Markets, European markets this is, as it currently stands, slightly in the green. FTSE 0.96%, DAX currently trading 1.21%, and Euro Stoxx 50 currently trading 1.31% higher. So don't forget, you can ask me questions anytime you wish, or simply say hello if you like. I mean, what do you think about this Twitter situation? I mean, it's obviously not a good day. It's not a nice experience, obviously. But I do think this is a sign to come for, a number of social media companies in the future. They're going to obviously seriously have to change their practices. It was interesting as well with Twitter, the little negotiations Musk did with Stephen King on Twitter when they were planning, to charge $20 a month for the verification, the blue tick on the accounts. Thank you, Moses. That's nice. Thank you. That blue tick, the verification on the accounts, and King in, pretty colorful language said he wasn't going to do that. Pay that amount, they should pay him. Musk replied, okay, we got to pay the bill somehow. How about $8 a month instead? And I think that's what they settled for. They're going to do $8 a month for the verification. But that's going to be interesting how that unfolds. Don't forget, if you think of a question later, you can ask me, either put it in the comment section on YouTube or Facebook. I will see them and I will reply to them next time I go live on air, which of course will be at 12:20 p.m. UTC for the watch along, and again later today for the US session as well. So please come and join me for that. If there is no questions, not a problem. Don't forget, if you're watching me on Facebook, yay, watch along. I know. I like the watch alongs as well. They're very exciting, especially if we have market movements. The worst is when we don't have any activity in the market, when we don't have any action. I think the NFP has been pretty dramatic over the last couple of ones. US CPI has been really good. I'll probably be doing a watch along with that next week. Sorry, I got a delay. No problem. Don't worry. No problem. I hope you're okay. Like I say, this US CPI is usually pretty good. So hopefully this will be quite a dramatic event. The bad ones, like I say, the disappointing watch-alongs are when it's really doesn't do a lot. Like I remember I did one a little while back on Canadian retail sales, didn't move. So we won't be doing that one again. But anyway, if there is no more questions, like I always say, if you're watching me on Facebook, by all means, give us a follow. If you're watching on YouTube and you've liked this little video, by all means, subscribe if you like. Hit the notification button so you know next time I'm going live. If you enjoyed this little video, find it interesting and useful, and you put up with me, my over-the-top enthusiasm for the markets, I simply cannot help, then give me one of these. It's nice to know that you like what I do. Anyway, till next time, don't forget, these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research and do your own diligence, and of course, know the risks at hand for entering any trade. Till next time, every single one of you, trade safe.